welcome to Startup to Success with Maria. My guest today is Lara Schmoisman, CEO and founder of the Darl. She specializes in helping luxury beauty and fashion brands with their marketing and creating a digital ecosystem to better grow and scale their businesses. Lara, oh, wait, she is also named Forbes Best Next 1000 and LA Times Influential Women. Lara, I am so thrilled to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. Those two last words just a surprise. I didn't expect it at all last year.
Oh my God. Like I was about to introduce you and I'm like, oh, well, wait a minute. The Forbes Next 1000, that's not a joke. Okay. I got to mention that. So, oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, one day I woke up and I had an email and I was, oh my God. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't expect it.
I can't wait to dive into the amazing work that you've done in the last 4 years. But before we begin, I always love to start with, who was Lara before she started the Darl?
Oh my God, I flirted with everything. And I think that that flirting, and I was that girl that was always trying to do something. I could never stop. I actually started my career in radio. I was 14 years old when I started radio as an assistant, and then apparently had a voice. So I started doing some radio hosting as well during the summer. And then I really actually wanted to be a radio host, a professional radio host.
Me too. Me too.
I told you off the air that we're very similar. But at some point I realized that being a nice voice wasn't enough for me. So I wanted more. So I went first to school for my first degree is in screenwriting. My second degree is in production and direction of television. I work in production. I'm from Argentina, ergo the sexy accent. Anyway, I started working in a network. I work in soap operas, and the soap opera that I was working on. And then I said, you know what? I think I want to learn English. I didn't speak a word of English. So I came to UCLA for 6 weeks. And while I was here, I started getting calls from the people that I knew in the other countries say, hey, I heard you're in LA. Do you think that you can cover this for me? And I was like, let me try. And I started doing it. So then I kept staying. I never went back to school to learn English, by the way. I'm self-taught, but I started doing it. And then I ended up working in big networks. I dipped my toes in production of movies. I did television a lot. I did a lot of entertainment industry and fashion industry. And then at the same time, I started falling in love with online. And I started realizing the possibilities of digital. So if you think about it, my first website was 1998. So, wow. So that's a long time ago.
I thought mine was early. Mine was in 2002, my first business. It was called weddingish.com. And it was solely online. We launched it in 2002. Wow, you're ahead of the game.
Well, and you're like me. So if you started that early, nobody will teach you this. You need to learn by making mistakes, by losing a completely website because someone made a wrong code. But I saw the possibilities. So I started learning and exploring and doing freelance jobs. At the time also I was pregnant. So I decided that I leave behind the entertainment industry, and I had an opportunity in distribution, which also taught me a lot. And it was that time that the one that they have my age probably remember where the DVDs came out, and they were incredible, and doing all those animations and special features and subtitles. I learned so much. And it's crazy because everything that I learned, either in radio, in television, in distribution, I was able to apply it online.
That's incredible.
Then life took me places. I ended up teaching digital marketing for the fashion industry at Cal Poly Pomona. I also went back to work in agencies at some point because my skill set was good for them. But I hated it. I realized that.
Same here. Oh my God, we're like sisters.
Yeah, we are.
I went to the agency and I had 2 girls, 2 like kids. while I went to the agency world, which was a mistake.
I know it was just so toxic.
You can't.
It was toxic, and also I tried several agencies,
Yeah.
and I felt like it wasn't the right place for me. I was trying to educate people in college, give them all the tools, but then they want us to. First, I felt very limited in what I could do. And second, I mean, I don't feel like it's a perk for me that they will give me bagels. I don't care about the bagels. I care to come home at the regular time. And they were expecting me to stay at night. And
I have done that. I have done that. I've stayed until midnight, so many nights. And I look back and I'm like, God, why did I do that? For 2 years, I did that, 2 years. And then I just one day said I had it.
Yeah, for me, it was very similar to me. And I remember the day it happened. My son had a Secret Santa activity. He was in 2nd grade, and he had the girl who was chosen by him. He had to give him a sewing kit. I was that great mother that I went and I ordered it in Amazon, but I was that bad mother that I missed a notification that it wasn't arriving on time. So my son was crying on the phone that they didn't have a gift, and I wasn't able to leave. So I found myself in a gas station at midnight trying to get something and crying. Yeah. So that moment I said, I quit. I have to quit everything. And if I need to go drive an Uber, I'll do that, because I cannot keep doing this. This is not healthy for me. This is not healthy for my kids. And what I found out that every day in the agency was the same. I was, of course, one of the first one in arriving there, and the times weren't working for me, but also everyone thought that they knew what they were doing. But then every day around 4 or 5 p.m., they will come to me with problems. And I was okay, but this could have been prevented if we communicate, if we talk about this in the morning. Why we always redoing things? Because everyone thinks that they know what they're doing, instead of communicating and working as a team. And so I realized that that's not what I wanted. And then I got people to start calling me, friends of the family, that they need a little help here and there, and I started doing it for free because I had the time. I didn't decide what to do with my life, and one thing and to another, and here I am.
Incredible. I had an epiphany too. I remember after I left the agency where I was working very, very long hours, I did learn a lot. I have to admit to you, because we were helping tech startups that got funded millions of dollars. So we were literally like in cat years. Every year was like 10 years for us, but it was intense. And then after that, I decided I was going to quit, but then I got recruited by New York Times. Their tea brand owned an agency in Santa Monica called Hello Society, where they just managed all the influencer campaigns. And it was an offer that at that point, I knew I wanted to have my own agency. I just knew one thing, that I wanted to make money on my own terms. I made that decision. But then when I joined that New York Times, things were so much better. Honestly, the hours were so much easier and calmer, but my drive was insane. I was commuting from the Valley to Santa Monica, stuck on the 405. I was literally driving 15 hours a week. So then I'm like, 15 hours a week, I could probably have another job, or like, besides spending, obviously I could be spending time with my family, but it's ridiculous. That's a part-time job. And I just quit. I quit, and I told them, I said, I'll continue working for you guys if I can do what I do remotely. If not, I'm just going to quit. And they said, no, you're managing an entire team. You can't just manage a team doing this remotely. And I said, all right, then I'm out, but I'll give you 3-month notice, because I was overseeing very large campaigns, and I wanted to see them completed. And
I want to see them through.
And so when I gave them that 3-month notice, I ended up working from my home office, and everything was so smooth. Everything was so great, where they came back to me and they said, hey, can we hire you as a contractor to continue doing this? And I said, sure. What is that going to entail? They're like, well, you'll become one of our vendors. I was like, okay, sure. Give me 2 weeks. I went and incorporated, started Global Fly, started the agency, and New York Times became my first client. And so
That's
it
amazing.
was such an amazing transition. And I, until now, on and off, I might get some opportunities, but it's white labeling opportunities, obviously, which I'm not too fond of doing, because then I don't have much control over my call times or meeting times.
Yes.
But I'm so thankful for the opportunity that they gave me. And then I took on my own clients, and I've had my own share of successes, but it's been interesting. I want to hear from your perspective. Oh no, I want to hear how you started the agency. I mean, you said that you started helping people, but what was that thing that kind of took you off to another level?
At some point, I mean, I was like I told you, I learned from making a tons of mistakes and to trying things. So I was doing SEO. I was doing everything for these friends. I did the website. I did absolutely. And at some point was like, okay, became a job. So I was like, either you have to hire someone or I need to start getting paid, because if I need to put this, I need to start making my own income. I cannot take my sabbatical forever and doing this. So I say, no, I prefer to hire you. And they hire me, and then word of mouth, someone else hire me. But when you start, you need to start little, and you need to be able to build your portfolio, because for everywhere that I worked before, you cannot use those pieces.
And I think our industry is so saturated too, where it's like, it's really difficult to, like, how do you differentiate yourself? How do you, and it's difficult to even hire a team, because how do you make sure you have consistent business month over month? That's the biggest challenge, that I come across on a daily basis.
I don't know. Maybe what works a little different, but I work on retainer with my clients. I don't work in projects anymore.
That's smart. That's smart. See, you can, the type of agency that we are is that we buy media for our clients. We help them with strategy, and then we do city takeover campaigns, which entails multi-channel marketing. It entails traditional, omni-channel, exactly. Traditional mixed with podcast advertising, and so like different social, YouTube, you name it. So it's usually us placing the media buy, and then it's pretty standard. We take 50% commission on whatever ad budget they have, which I hate that system. It's horrible.
Well, we are a 360 agency. We do some media buy, but we do all the creative too. I have a social media team, a performance team, development, creative, graphic designers, post-production. I have writers, blog writers. I have everyone.
Amazing. That's hard to do. God, that's a lot of expertise under one umbrella, which is amazing.
I don't know. I did it all myself. So I don't feel like I'm certified with Google. I took the test. I did ads at some point. I did WordPress. It's things that I know. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years. So it's not from one day another say, I got it. I didn't. I learned it by doing it. So I don't feel it's like an effort. So I can go and talk development and talk code, or I can go and talk with my people from SEM and know what I'm talking about. And I always keep taking trainings. I love what I do. So
I love that. I love what I do too, but I think I haven't dabbled into different parts of marketing, because I find that I kind of felt like I found my niche, because we ended up using influencers, but not just on social media. And I hate the word influencers. I hate using the word influencers.
I get it.
In my company, we use impactors and impressors. The impactors are the people like us. Like they could be moms, they could be teachers, but they're the people that are going to make the biggest impact. Meaning, if you're a client and you come to me and say, Maria, I want you to promote this book and, get me this many sales, I'll usually go after the impactors, because they have higher engagement, people that, but the impressors are like the Howard Sterns and Kim Kardashian. They impress, but they don't generate sales necessarily, right? And so we work with impactors and impressors depending on the budget that they give us. And then depending on where the target audience is, we'll place them in those channels. So if it's, let's say for our auto clients, we'll work a lot with radio hosts and promote them through a radio host. Like we'll do a live read, an endorsement, and then we'll amplify those through paid media. So that's what we've been focusing on, and we've gotten really good at that. And a lot of companies hire us specifically for that, you know.
No, and I think it's great. I just realized that I was finding this problem over and over again, and it was so hard for me to fix. It was, and I still see it. Every person that I come, I went to talk to a prospective client yesterday, and they had the same problem. They all been burnt. There is so many people out there that they offer, hey, let me do your Instagram, or hey, let me do your ads, or let me do your SEO. But okay, are you doing the SEO for the right target audience? I do it for the right branding? Is your branding in place? Is your website built in a way that it can connect omni-channel? Because at the end of the day, whatever you do, you work with influencers, you work with ads, everything is going to convert in your website.
Right.
I have a system that everyone in my agency knows that either it's a written post, a newsletter, anything it is the IEMA system. That is informative, entertaining, memorable, and actionable.
I love that. I love that.
So every piece of content that we create need to have those 4 elements.
I love that. We have a system for our copy points when we give it to the influencers, the impactors and the impressors. And it's the same thing. We have a checklist where we're like, okay, do we have a call to action? Do we have the benefits of the product? You know, and because we want the whoever's promoting the product to authentically speak about the product, not have a script. So we give them bullets. And yeah,
absolutely. And I just added the last piece to my agency that I mean, I was adding pieces as I feel like I was able to learn and help my clients, but we just open PR that we're doing very successfully. And PR is really important, not only to work with some influencers and social, but also because marketing is about 2 things. If you start thinking it really simple, it's authority and relevance. Authority is that you're the best at what you do. Relevance is people to find you.
Yeah.
So I really think that you need to have a strategy that is omni-channel, but at the same time is sustainable, because, and I find out that there are 2 reasons what small businesses are failing right now. A, they're trying to copy someone else's strategy. If it's the same target market and it's the same, you're trying to do the same, you have a competitive product and you're trying to do exactly the same, you don't know the story of the other person. You don't know how they got there. You don't know their budget. And you're trying to do the same, you're going to fail. It's inevitable. And also, the other thing is for people to don't know how to create sustainable strategies. Like I was saying before, I do your Facebook, but it's your Facebook has the same branding that your website, but you using the native language of Facebook, but keeping your branding? If you don't create those sustainable strategies that you can maintain because you have the time, the team, and the budget to do it, it's impossible. You're going to fail again.
Yeah, that's a good one. See, in one way, our campaigns, our minimum for our clients to start with us is usually 20K or above ad spend. So in a sense, I'm so happy that we don't take anyone below that, because then I have to deal with all that. And I don't know how you deal with that. Sometimes it's, you know, the last two years before we hopped on this interview, I mentioned to you that I've been doing a lot of pro bono work where I'll just give advice and help my colleagues, my friends who have businesses, and a lot of people, you know, pivoted from brick and mortar to online. So they come to me with questions, and sometimes my head hurts because I'm like giving them advice on something and I'm realizing that their website isn't even optimized to do what I'm telling them to do. They're social.
And that's a problem. People love to ask you questions, but they don't realize that what we do is based on data.
Exactly.
Everything that we do is based on analytics, that we have that information. And I cannot give you, they ask for creative advice, but it's not creative. It's analytic advice that they need. And I cannot give advice without having the data.
Right. And to get the data, you need to do something for them at least for 6 months to gather the data and be able to optimize it. I know and that's one thing where, you know, the last 5.5 years, almost, 5.5 years, we started in 2017. You know, I focused on the auto vertical and the tech industry. The tech industry, I only took on clients that got funded millions and wanted to scale, because to do radio ads, to do Sirius XM ads, podcast ads, you need huge budgets. You
do, yeah.
Podcast advertising, I mean, nowadays, you can't get in for $500 a month, but are you going to see results, right? Like, you want to do it, you want to go in and do it properly, and usually properly would be anywhere from 25 minimum to start with. And so in a sense, I feel great that I'm not dealing with any of that, because they're pretty advanced. They have, I mean, some of the founders are Harvard graduates. So, you know, they're the tech disruptors. So they're pretty solid on the numbers, understand the importance of data. But then sometimes they're just so hard-headed, and it's there's this challenge.
It's manager expectations.
Exactly.
It's hard because everyone thinks that because they have an Instagram account or a Facebook account, they know everything about them, right, or ads or whatever. But the problem many times is that the client is in love with their product,
yes,
or their service. Yes. And it's our job to not to bump heads, but it's about telling them, here is the truth. Here's where you're standing. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I had a woman who spent over 100K on a website.
No.
And I was reading their numbers, and her website wasn't good. It would not perform. And she was crying, like, what should I do? And I said, I'm giving you solutions. I mean, I'm not trying to give you a problem, but I need to tell you the truth. Because if I'm going to be working with you, you need to know where we're standing. You need to know where you're standing regardless.
Exactly. Wow. That hurts me. That like, I feel so bad for people like that are taking it, like, are being taken advantage of. And I think that's what's happening with, you know, with a lot, the industry's been changed so much. And I mean, I don't know how it was before, maybe before it was the same too, but I think right now, because social media is, every young person thinks they can do social media and they start a marketing agency, like, it's hard for people to tell the difference between a good solid company
it is
versus a fake one, because they can just fake it so well and just have it online and then pretend like they're so great by buying great big followers, fake followers, and all of that. So so who is your target audience? I would love for the listeners to learn.
Oh my God, I have 3 things going on. So I have the agency, which is any startup, any small, medium businesses that they want to scale.
I can send you a lot of business. I can send so much business your way. I'm
Please
so excited.
do. And I'll be happy.
We don't do any of the things that you do, by the way.
Well, we're going to be talking.
I can't wait.
We're going to collaborate in many ways after this.
Wait.
Then I realized that there were some people that they are not ready to take an agency, but they are not ready to work with freelancers either, because they don't know. So I created a consulting program that is 4 months old, 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, on one-on-one with me, that I help them to put a sustainable, I call it my 3-step accelerator. And what I do is I give them strategies that I use in the agency that works. My logistics, I teach them how to put a plan for a year. And I help them to how you do a social media strategy, how you interview a freelancer, what you need to look. I mean, I'm not going to give you a freelancer, but I'm going to tell you what that person needs to demonstrate.
Right, smart.
Because I see that people don't know how to hire this talent. So, and I will teach them all that. I will give them my Airtable boards, so they can understand how to plan things ahead. Everything they need, but because either they don't have the budget or they're not ready to go their baby goes. So it's completely fine. And I created this program just to help those people, because I hate to see them hurt. And I hate to see them later on when they come to me, damaged.
Yeah.
When they come to the agency. And for the people who are even starting to think about doing this, and because I'm so fed up with all these fake gurus and coaches,
Same here.
I created an online training.
Nice.
It's actually, the cost was $367, I believe. It's a 12 steps, but I'm giving it away for $27.
Wow.
Because I want everyone to have it, but I want them to pay because I want them to be serious about it. I just feel like during COVID, there are so many people that they're starting doing these courses. I just had someone who I saw that it's a pregnant, maternity leave program, whatever, and someone who didn't even experience it yet.
Wow.
I mean, maybe you can do a maternity leave because you have 3 kids and you did 3 times successfully. But how are you selling something that you didn't experience and someone didn't use your system and it worked?
Yeah, exactly. And that's my thought too. When people, coaches are charging tons of money and their background doesn't back up what they're teaching, it upsets me. I'm like, oh, you're such a fake. How dare, like, it amazes me how they're able to get people's money too, how people just give them the money. Like, don't they wonder, wait, does this person have an existing business now? Is she running something in order to give me the advice?
I talk to business coaches, quote unquote, that they were infringing in the use of their business was not registered. Wow. So how are you a business coach if you didn't register your business, if you didn't incorporate your business, if you didn't get a trademark on your name?
Yeah. You know what, Lara, it's so interesting. You mentioned that your course is worth so much more, $360, but you're giving it away for $27. And obviously you're in this to help people. And that's how I feel. Like I found myself helping and giving so much of my time, and I still do. I do webinars with score.org where I'll just go and they sell my webinars for $25 per person, but I don't get paid for that because I'm volunteering to help them raise money. But I'm starting to kind of lean back from that because I'm realizing that sometimes when people get things for free, they number one, they don't take it seriously. Number two, they don't do it. So then I'm like, why did I just waste all
exactly that's why I'm giving it away. I think $27 is something you can spend if you want to start a business. I'm considering $27, and it gives you there are 12 modules, and they give you all the basics of the marketing mix, so you understand where to start.
Yeah, I love that. We'll have all this information in the show notes for the listeners too. You know, what I started doing is I started sharing some of my internal team training videos that I would make. Sometimes if I have to share something with my team members, who, especially COVID time, I had to train certain people to do certain things. So I would make these videos like how to barter with influencers, right? Like we're doing that for my other company, Roma Leaf, which is a CBD brand. And so I created a video, and then I started sharing that video with other friends who have businesses. And I'm like, here, watch this and go barter. Because they would call me and they're like, how should I barter with influencers? What contracts do I need to sign? What should I look out for? And so I was like, oh, I have a 10-minute video on that. Here, I'll send it to you. And so I was finding myself emailing people these videos. And then I realized, I'm like, all right, you know, maybe I should start a Patreon account where I could just have everything there in one place and not waste my own time anymore by sending individual emails to people that are asking for this information. And so now I started a Patreon account where I just have these and it's so simple. I just have little posts, and each post is like how to get media coverage on your webinar that you're doing. Yeah, and you know what's interesting, Lara? Up until recently, up until I started Roma Leaf. So Roma Leaf is my other brand, which I would love your thoughts on certain things, because obviously you're a digital marketing,
absolutely,
digital marketing expert. And I personally don't consider myself a digital marketing expert because digital encompasses so much. It's not just social media or influencers. To me, it's SEO, it's analytics, it's something so much more. But going back to my CBD brand, when I first started the brand, I started experimenting things, but a lot of the marketing that I do for my clients, I wasn't able to do it for my own company.
I know I have experience with CBD, and it's a completely different world. I work with a lot of doctors, and so CBD came very natural to me, but you have so many restrictions and there's so many loopholes that you need to go find, which is fascinating. I love it because it's fascinating.
Oh, I hate it because the way I buy the media, like I just go to the networks and I'm like, let me buy this, and they're like, nope, you can't. So my hands have been tied. I can't do the things that I'm able to do for my clients for my own company. So I had to really rethink and figure out different ways to do stuff just to organically get the word out until I can feel that the company is in a place where I can hire an agency. And to be quite honest with you, hiring an agency as a marketing agency owner has been probably the hardest thing to do, because
I'm sure
then I can call out their mistakes from a mile away. I'm just like, nope. Yeah,
sometimes it's not even the mistakes, it's about the bluff.
Exactly. You said
it's a bluff, or
it's the bluff. It's
a bluff, but also it's about other people. I don't know why. It's like when I'm taking over another agency or there's a change, whatever, or a client, I go with data. It's where they're standing and I show data. I don't try to blame them for that's in the past, but I need to show them where they're standing. But I hate when they say opposite, the people that they want to take clients from me, and the clients say, they sent me this, that my phone number is wrong in my website. No, it's not. I hate those that they trying to approach clients with lies. That's a bad way to start.
No, I agree. And it's kind of sad. But what I've been doing is, because I have, and same with you, like if you have an MNDA signed with your clients, you can't talk about their campaigns. You can't talk about what you're doing for them. And same with me for all these years, even if I wanted to share how to do podcast advertising and show them case studies, I really couldn't, because I couldn't showcase my clients' case studies. And now that I have my own company, my own CBD brand, I experiment things with my team. And then I'm like, oh, okay, this worked. Let me make a 10-minute video on teaching others how to do it. And I literally showed the back end of my own website, the back end of how I did this. And to your point, this all came with the thought process of, if people can't afford to hire me, but they need that help to get the ball rolling enough, let them watch my 10-minute video and figure it out and do it themselves.
That's great. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people are trying to do it yourself, everything.
That's true.
And they don't realize how much of their time is worth it doing what they do right. Like, for example, if you have your own startup and you're starting from scratch and you don't have anything else to do, go ahead and do it. But if you have a business that is running, and either you start something else or your business, you need marketing, my recommendation is try to have an agency, or try to learn how. That's why I create my consulting program, so people can really know what they're doing and not waste their time that is valuable doing something else.
Or just hire someone to watch your videos, and and then at least that person is being trained on what to do, because whether you're bringing an intern or something.
I think you as an owner, you always need to know
everything. I agree 100%.
And at least to ask the right questions, because if I wouldn't, I'm a marketing agency owner, but I know I'm a developer, absolutely not. But I know enough that I know how to ask the right questions to my developers.
Right. Yeah. Smart.
Or to ask them what they need to do. And listen, this happened to me many years ago, that developers will come to me and say, no, this will take a week. They will cost you this much. And it was, no, honey.
Wow.
This only takes 20 minutes and you can do it in 20 minutes.
So charge me
20 minutes.
I love that. I love that. It's not every day I come across marketing experts, God, like you're not even a expert. I think can I call you a professor? Marketing professor?
I think I'm more like explorer, like a marketing explorer, because I explore all the new marketings, and then I've been there, done that. It's not like I went to college, and I studied marketing. I didn't have, at my age, I didn't have anything to learn. I had to explore it and learn it.
Learn it the hard way. And that's what I did too. I had startups from the age of 20. I think my first one was 20. I was 20, and they were all online. It started from 2020. And they were all online, and I graduated. I have an MBA actually, and
That's
I
amazing.
always studied marketing. I loved marketing, but then when I had my startups, I had to learn how to run a business, because when you're in a business, you gotta.
I always want to get an MBA, but my biggest problem is that I need to pass the TOEFL as English as a second language. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Don't do it. I think your life experience probably taught
exactly.
you more.
And I don't know how much more MBA will teach me.
And sometimes my husband brings that up. Sometimes he's like, was your MBA valuable at all for you? I'm like, well, it was when I was in the corporate world, when I decided to leave entrepreneurship for 2 years, well, almost 3 years, and I decided to go work for someone else. And it helped me because it helped me kind of just, I guess, become a director really quickly. They looked at the degree to a certain extent. But then, does it help me in my day-to-day, what I do? I don't think so. I mean, now
that's a problem that I see also with corporate. Why would you? I mean, having a degree is great. I believe in education. I want my kids to get higher education, but I would never promote anyone based on a degree.
I know. I agree. There's this, like, I think there's still this it's sad to say, but especially in the advertising agencies, I still find that the white men are the ones going out there closing deals. And I find that there's this expectation, you have to have the MBA if you're dealing with this caliber of clients or whatever. I felt that. And so I don't know. I don't want to dive into the politics of that. I'd rather talk about you. But tell me a little bit about your podcast.
My podcast it's called Coffee Number 5. I think
like Chanel number 5.
Yeah, well, because sometimes I always make the joke that I can only talk to people after the 5th coffee, because I'm always so busy. And I just hit the button. I found out that I hit the 60,000 downloads. Which is incredible.
Oh my God, I should start advertising on your podcast.
Yeah, I would love that.
Oh my God.
And so this is very, very exciting. Actually, I just pressed a button and it happened.
Incredible. Congratulations. You need to give me advice, because I want to take my radio show and launch the podcast now that it's moving forward. So I would love your thoughts probably
absolutely
after that.
And so my podcast is very similar to this show. I want people I want journeys. I want people that life is not easy. And I think with all this new world about influencers, that even kids think that they don't need to go to college because they can have a YouTube channel and make a lot of money. Right. So, and the journeys, those journeys don't even happen that way. You need to work hard. I have friends who are influencers, and I know how hard they work. It's hard work if you want to take it seriously, and you have to negotiate and get things. It's a lot of work. And it's not for everyone. Not everyone should be an influencer.
I agree.
And so I want a place to bring, again, not coaches, the real deal, and people who have real journeys. And because if someone like me, like an immigrant, without knowing a word of English, can immerse in this country, and it took me a while, for 24 years, but here I am. And I mean, if I can do it, and I can get over things like even my accent was before I started going back to the agencies, I really needed a job. Was in the times that the economy crashed, and I needed to go back to work. And I've been working as a freelancer for international many years, and that marketing even shrunk immediately. So I needed to go to work. And a friend of someone I know was a headhunter for advertising agencies. So I asked her if she can meet with me and have a coffee, and she can look at my resume. And she said, honey, you stay at home and with your kids, because you're never going to get in an ad agency and you're going to make less money that you're babysitting.
That's true. Yeah.
And so I've been judged because my career was like this. I've been judged because of my accent. So, at some point you need to say, fuck it. And
yeah. Oh, I said that word throughout COVID, because when I started my CBD brand, I wasn't telling anyone that I have a CBD brand. And then when COVID happened, it grew organically. And I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. I was worried about what my clients would think about me having another company and another brand. And I was like, fuck it. Like, this is not, who cares? I don't care.
Exactly.
I need to support my family and I'm doing something good. I'm helping others who might have migraines like I do or anxiety like I do. I'm helping them. And if I'm helping them, I should be proud of it and put my face behind it. And so,
yeah.
I love that.
It's amazing. It's amazing that if you put your mind into it, you can do it. And if you and always with a good attitude, there are like, you can see the negative or you can see the positive about it. It's up to you.
Do you come across times when you have so many great ideas and you just don't know within your business, not for clients? I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of ideas for the clients, but within your business, you want to do this and you want to do that.
Oh my God.
And you just never have the time. How do you prioritize?
Well, actually, you know what I had to do? I had to hire an extra part of the team that is my team only works for my internal accounts. And someone yesterday told me, well, what if this person also works with that? No, nobody touched that person because every time that I put one of my persons to work for my clients, what happened? They end up prioritizing clients.
Yeah.
And my things never get happen.
That's true. That's true. So what do they do for you? They hold you accountable to finish something before you start something else, or what's the process?
Well, no, they drive me crazy. Like, you need to do this. I mean, we need to have, they put me to do lists of things like I need to do because I'm my brand, I'm my face. Many of my clients come because of me. So I need to show that I'm growing my own business as well.
And your brand is growing, because I think there's the shift in the industry now where our face, our personality brand is what's driving our companies. It's the driving force behind, I guess, in front of our companies. And so I think it's a little harder because now we have to almost run 2 different companies and sometimes 3. But it's kind of crazy that we have to invest in ourselves. We have to do social media. We have to do these interviews. We have to get the word out in order to create more awareness about all the amazing work that we're doing and giving back to the small business community, which really needs it now more.
But also, I think it's about networking and meeting the right people. I mean, I'm not even going to go to the hiring problem that we have nowadays.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's hard to find people that they really want to work.
Yeah, very, very. We're dealing with a whole different issue. But where can the listeners get a hold of you if they want to hire your agency or
my agency
get on the podcast?
Okay, my agency is thedarl.com, the Darl. And then you can find me for my podcast in businessforward.co. And that's a platform that you can find my online training as well. And also you can, if you are interested in the consulting, LaraSchmoisman.com. And in social, I'm Lara Schmoisman everywhere.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. Lara, I can't believe we're like our interview. You have to come back. You have to come back because we need to talk about, God, we have so much. I have so many questions for you, but
anytime you can have
save it for our next one. But again, thank you so much. And next conversation could be about Forbes Next Best 1000. Oh my God. I'm like, I can't wait to learn more about that. That's a huge, huge accomplishment. Congratulations. And to be the LA Times Inspirational Woman, that's
well, huge. I was a nominee, but anyway, it's an honor.
That to me, I mean, just speaking to you and seeing the type of work that you do, I don't doubt why they chose you.
That was great, but also my agency got named and nominee by LA Times as diversity and inclusion, and that for me was really important because it's something that I wanted really people to know that that's how we feel as a team and we work as a team.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me at the show. And I hope to have you back soon again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.